All right, what's going on, guys? It is your boy Shady Mike Gaming, and welcome to this video. I don't even know what to call this. Depending on when you guys are watching this, and I actually don't know when you guys are going to be watching this, but I might upload this on Tuesday. If it is Tuesday, it's actually my birthday. So that's lit. Happy birthday, me. Let's go. But yeah, there was just a couple of things IRL that I wanted to discuss on the channel, and just wanted to, just get in here, play some 2K, and just, talk to you guys. So this video here in the background, you're going to see, well, I shouldn't say in the background because this is live. Like, I am actually playing the game right now as I talk. So, not necessarily in the background, but what you're looking at is just going to be me kind of doing some testing in terms of the upcoming update to the GOAT Edition, calling it GOAT Edition V2. It's been actually very annoying to get done. So just really trying to get this out to you guys. But yeah, I am on a little bit of a hiatus right now, I guess is what I should start the video off by saying. Me dropping this video, I'm on like a little bit of a social media hiatus. It's my birthday week, and I really just want to just take, a step back. Obviously it's April, spring. You think about rebirth and starting new, starting fresh. I'm a big believer in, kind of just, taking a step back and, self-evaluation and all that good, cool concepts. But I didn't want to just, leave you guys hanging. So I wanted to just make some content out for you guys and, kind of, just check in for a little bit. So the first thing that I did want to talk about was just the sliders in general, how that process is coming. So one thing about sliders, once you get a set that's good, it's really hard to make changes and not break everything that you've already done. So that's been kind of the number one thing that's has been tough for me. Is I'm a big believer in when you do make changes, you want the changes to really make a difference. Any change that you make should be an improvement. Not a real big fan of making changes just to say, hey, here's V2 of a slider set, view the video, give me likes, and we're here. I really want to make sure it's actually improving on what we have. And so far, all of the things that I've been able to come up with, I just don't feel like they've really been big improvements. So that's kind of what's been taking me so long. I know I teased this way too early. I literally teased V2 of the set too early. So I kind of regret doing that. Everyone that, for everyone that's asking when the sliders will be out, they will be out when they're done, and not a day before, not a day after. Like I said, not gonna withhold them or anything, but seriously, when they are done, I'm gonna drop them. So but just in terms of me taking a little bit of a hiatus, I try to, anytime I'm here talking to you guys, whether it's on a video like this or whether it's a stream, I really do try to stress so that you guys understand the difference between me and maybe some of the other YouTubers that you might watch. Especially the bigger ones, the Chris Moves and Shakedowns of the world. Is I don't really do YouTube for a living. I really try to stress that in terms of the timetable. I've gotten comments, like, hey man, you should do like, I swear one guy commented at the bottom of one of my videos, just like, hey man, I'm gonna need you to do like 3, 4, 5 signature shots a week. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, bro, that would be phenomenal. But, I'd rather not get evicted. So, that's kind of part of it is got to, unfortunately have to make a living as well. So I know that if I really focused on trying to pump out more content, I think the quality would drop because I feel pretty maxed out at this point. And again, I think in life, when you feel maxed out or feel like your back is against the wall, it's important to take a step back, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But I also wanted to say too is me taking a step back, and I guess the term the phrase I'll use is feeling burnt out actually has nothing to do with YouTube. YouTube is my outlet. YouTube is the way that I wind down and this YouTube is what I like to do. YouTube is my outlet from work, family, and things of that nature, and some stressful aspect of life, health issues included. So I didn't want to paint the wrong picture by saying, "Yeah, guys, I'm burnt out from YouTube. I'm taking a break." No, that's not really what it is. YouTube is a really big part of what I do, and I love doing it. It's a big time outlet for the real stresses of life, which for me, as of late, between family and my birthday coming up and some other health issues too, it just kind of started to weigh on me. So that's a lot of me taking a break from social media and things of that nature. And honestly, I'll say too, a big thing is how negative in general social media is. It's just a lot of despair, death, and not fun things, on the internet. So if for whatever reason, hopefully you don't, but if you ever find yourself in feeling the way I feel right now, there's nothing wrong with taking a break. There's nothing wrong with, deciding to, you know, step away. I think in life we all need to do it sometimes. So make sure you do it as well if that's what you needed. But main point of this video, because I guess I'm only going to do the first quarter of this game. I don't know. We'll see, depending on how long what we talk about goes. There are two things that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about first and foremost the Paul Pierce situation. And then I wanted to talk about, I guess, get into the Michael Rapaport situation. So I guess we'll do it in that order. A lot of you guys, myself included, we were all on Twitter when it was happening. Paul Pierce, Celtics legend, he went live on Instagram with like a whole bunch of strippers and stuff. And at first, I did think that it was an accident. Like, I thought he went live and didn't know that he had went live. That was the number one thing that I thought had happened. But it turns out it's just, no, he just really went live in the middle of him throwing like a rager in the middle of a pandemic, with, mad strippers and poker, not a mask anywhere to be found. And ESPN decided to fire him. Now, I thought that was, at first I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. You're probably going to get fired for that. But I was watching, or listening to rather, Chris Broussard and Rob Parker, on Fox Sports Radio, and I was listening to Chris's point, and he made a great point, actually. I know that Chris and I share a religious similarity in terms of our moral compass, being men of faith. And that's what he said, right? He said, like, you would never, obviously I don't condone what he was doing. You're not going to catch me, especially all things are amplified right now in the middle of the pandemic. But, you're not going to catch me in the middle of a pandemic at a party with mad strippers right now, especially when Paul Pierce is married. He's been married for 10 years. So it's like, I don't know if he's having marital issues. If he is that the cause, or is this the response? I don't know. I'm definitely not qualified to talk about that, being a single man myself. You know what I'm saying? But it was just, odd. And so, when you see this situation, and of course ESPN fires him, at first I'm like, yeah, well, you're going to get fired for stuff like that. You don't know what ESPN's code of conduct is. You don't know, what they're asking for from their employees in terms of, the pandemic, and asking them to keep yourselves and your coworkers safe. But then Chris made his point, and you know what he said? He said, number one, and also in the video, Paul Pierce was smoking weed. That's another thing that I don't partake in. But while I, and someone like Chris Broussard, might not partake in that, It's legal. I live in New Jersey. I don't know where Paul lives, but I'm pretty sure it's legal. It's getting legalized or is legal now in New York. It's getting legalized. I believe it's definitely already legal in Colorado. I'm pretty sure. Isn't ESPN in LA? Isn't it? It's legal in California. I'm pretty sure. So okay, that kind of knocks off one of the quote unquote charges. Smoking weed, and again, it's while I don't do it myself, my opinion is just that there are so many worse things you could be doing in society that can cause more damage to yourself and others. That's always been my approach. It's not something that I personally do, nothing that I've ever done, nothing that I ever will do. But there are just much more destructive forces in this world, than smoking weed. It is what it is, right? And again, with it being illegal, now it's strictly just what are we talking about? Like how do you fire someone for something that's legal almost everywhere? So, that's that. And then Chris makes another point, and I love the point here. He says, okay, and then let's get to the strippers. You have Paul Pierce getting fired for, having, I guess women dancing a certain way, dressed a certain way. But he said, I would get it if it was 20 or something years ago. He said, but what we just saw, they're doing this at the Grammys. He said, you have women dressed this way, dancing this way on live TV, not even blocked or paid for stuff or stuff on the internet. No, live TV that you watch during the day that children can see. That's our culture now. I don't know if I want to say culture as much as I should say our society now. Or I guess what's come to be, expect or accepted is the word. So when I took a step back, and one thing I'll tell you is I never like to apply my beliefs, especially my religious beliefs, to other people, especially when I know the majority of people may not or probably don't share my beliefs. When I look at it at a logical, lateral point of view, I'm like, ESPN letting him go just seems kind of petty and honestly, I would even say tacky. Like it just doesn't seem justified. So that was my take on the Paul Pierce situation. And it is what it is, I guess. I hope everything's all right with him in his life, right? He's married for 10 years. You don't ever want to see, somebody that you don't know doing something like that if they're married, especially if you do know someone, you don't want to see stuff like that. So hopefully everything's going on with Paul Pierce. A lot of people in the comments were saying, hey guys, he's having his midlife crisis live. And that could be true because, that's, and again, I'm 28, so I don't know anything about a midlife crisis just yet. But that's a serious thing. And, sometimes guys really need help finding themselves. And I hope whatever he needs, I hope everything's all right with him because I'm actually a big fan of Paul Pierce, no matter how many ridiculous NBA takes he may have. So that was that. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about was the whole Michael Rapaport situation. And you guys may actually be surprised by the route that I take on this one, but Michael Rapaport goes on Skip and Shannon Undisputed today, and he this is hilarious. He basically starts pretending to cry, and the first thing I thought was everyone talks about how bad of an actor he is, but he was really acting pretty well there. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's really hurt by this whole Kevin Durant situation. He's like, I went to the coffee shop today and no one would talk to me. I went to the dog park and they wouldn't pet my dog. And he's pretending to cry. It's hilarious. And then obviously you realize he's faking, and basically saying he it sucks that the whole Kevin Durant situation got blown out of proportion, but it's he doesn't really care. And I wanted to make a comment on the whole situation because I don't really like the way the situation is played out. Rapaport really was labeled the villain here when he was the one that was verbally attacked. Now, the reason, obviously, he was labeled the villain was because he leaked the DMs. But when he came on TV and he said what he said, I actually agree with, and I know you guys are gonna think I'm crazy for taking this view, but I agreed with Rapaport. He said, listen, Kevin Durant's number one, he's not my friend. Number two, my friends don't talk to me that way. So this is some random troll. And yes, at this point in time, I will say Kevin Durant is just a Twitter troll that's really good at basketball. We've seen the comments KD has made. And guys, I want to stress, I've been the biggest KD defender in the world. Like, I was the one who said he's better than LeBron and all that stuff. But KD has just really lost me with his behavior. And it's another one. When I saw what he said to Rapaport, exactly what I said on Twitch, I said, guys, normal adults that are okay with their lives, okay with their situation, their job, their families, they don't respond to other human beings the way Kevin Durant responded to Michael Rapaport. And I didn't like how Twitter, NBA Twitter, whatever you want to call it, basically just made Rapaport out to be, oh, because he broke bro code or Twitter code or street code, whatever code is involved, by leaking the DMs, he's the villain. But I'm like, guys, look at what KD said. And I said it, like, I'm sorry. If you actually say that stuff and put it on paper, to me, I'm airing you out. Just so you know. So, guys, if any of you guys were thinking about making an angry rant at me, I don't do anything to cause, anyone to hate me, hopefully. But yeah, I'll air you out on Twitter. Like, why would I not? And especially with him saying, like, I don't know this man. We're not friends. Like, I don't know you. I'm like, I'll air you out. And so, like, I just didn't like the whole code situation, just, completely ignoring the fact that KD basically just had a mental breakdown. I don't know how you call it anything but that, and called this man all types of ridiculous words. I heard there was a homophobic slur. I actually didn't see that. I don't know what he said that would be considered a homophobic slur, but you guys know the rules. You don't bring people's wives and you don't bring people's kids into your arguments. KD did both of those, and I'm sorry, I would air them out too. I had no problem with what Michael Rapaport did, and quite frankly, I didn't really have a problem with Rapaport in general. I don't know him. I know he's an actor. I actually don't think I've actually seen a movie with him in it, so I don't have any connection to Rapaport. But just me being neutral and looking at it, and actually, you could argue I'm not neutral. I should be more partial to KD. But watching, guys, the deterioration of KD, it's sad, and that's what I was trying to say with KD. I just am concerned because a person that's focused on winning a championship, a title, gaining camaraderie with his team, you don't react that way to a random person on Twitter, whether it's a response or a DM. And even KD saying, yeah, no, he said, and I quote, I live for the negativity. When people come at me, I come back at them. Is that you? Like, people be saying, this you? Like, is that what you want to be known for? Like, oh, you ask KD though, if you say something on Twitter, he'll come back at you. Like, that's just inviting more hate and more negativity. And I can personally, and again, I can only speak for myself. I can only tolerate so much of that. So, that is my take on the Kevin Durant, Michael Rapaport situation. It's also my take on the Paul Pierce situation. A lot of NBA news, and we're gonna see what happens. There's so many. The problem with the NBA right now is there's just so many injuries that it's all gonna come down to who's healthy at the end, who's standing, and we will see what happens. But I just wanted to check in with you guys. I'm, on a little bit of a hiatus. I will be back with our regularly scheduled content, more signature shots. When I do come back, it's going to be Joel Embiid next. I was really happy to see him back, on the court for the Sixers. Get very happy when I'm able to watch him play. As you guys know, he's my favorite. But yeah, guys, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. With the gameplay in the background, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about, any of the topics that we covered today, and also, the gameplay. How's it looking, guys? I'm working. I think we're still missing too many layups, but it's easier to tweak so there's too many misses versus not enough misses. Like you can fix too many misses, but if you're not missing shots, that's a problem. So, all right, guys, this is Shady Mike. I am signing out. Peace. Threes.